Hi everyone, this is Professor Benjamin, and this is the roundup for week 3 of this course. So we are almost finished week 3. Sunday will be week 3 of this course, and again, it's been another emotionally draining week. So one good thing about what's coming up next week is the fact that you don't have an assignment due. So housekeeping items. Number 1, you have your political geography, and you have your service and settlements quiz due by Sunday 11:59. You have your political geography assignment due. A couple students have reached out to me about the political geography assignment. There is one specific question that asks you to play the game, and so I really need you to at least play the game, or at least play the game for a significant amount of time to figure out how, and then I need you to be detailed in that answer as to what you did to try and move voters into specific districts in order to reach the goal of the game. So make sure that you have spent some time doing that, and be specific in the answer so that I know you played the game, what you did to try and accomplish the goal, if you did or didn't accomplish the goal. So you need to be specific about that as well in the assignment. So that's due this week. Next week we're going to cover industry and language. And what's good about this week is we just have an initial post due by Tuesday for industry, and an initial post due by Tuesday for language, response post due by Thursday for industry, response post due by Thursday for language, and then you'll have your 2 quizzes. And then you'll have your, the following week, you'll have your final assignment due for May. But I wanted to show you one other thing real quick, which is the fact that I've put up this final revised assignment revision here. So if you would like to start working on, you can either revise the urban patterns or the population assignment. You're more than welcome to revise those. So if you did not hand them in, you will have 20 points deducted, even on the revision. If you do revise the assignment, then the new revision grade will take over your old grade. Make sure you use your Turn-It-In report as a, sorry, we've had some power outages in my area, so I just kind of I'm outside. But if you revise your assignment, it will take the place of the old grade, and you should be good to go on that. But remember, if you didn't hand it in the first place, the highest grade you could potentially get by resubmitting it is an 80, okay? So make sure that you do that. If you have questions, make sure you reach out. But if you see here, I've added that in here, and the revision for it is due by June 26th, which is the last day of class. So you do have some time, but if you want to get it off your plate now, you're more than welcome to get it out of the way. So this week we're going to cover industry and language. I love language. I think it's an amazing tool. This is one of my favorites, the National Geographic Lost Language Project, which is the fact that National Geographic travels the world looking for languages that will become lost, or ready to become extinct, and they actually take voice recordings of those, and those individuals speaking those languages so that they can keep them in a national database or a worldwide database, which I think is amazing. I do think it's sad that we are losing so many languages, and this, of course, deals with globalization. So English, there are major languages, right? English, Mandarin, Spanish are becoming the major languages throughout the world, and we are losing a lot of those smaller languages. And so you want to look at that. You also want to look at what's the difference between a language and a dialect. So there's some differences there as well. So you'll take a look at languages throughout the world. There's also the idea of English only mandates, meaning that there has been talk about making the United States have more than one main language. And of course, there are people who do not want that and people who do. There are a lot of reasons why English is the main language in the United States and why it has not been replaced with Spanish. And the reasons for that are, a lot of it is economic reasons. So that if we decided to be a dual language country, main language country, there would be a lot that we would have to do. And it would cost taxpayers a lot of money. So all money would need to be changed. Currencies would need to have both languages on them. Signs would need to have both languages on them. And I'm talking like nationwide, not just in areas where there are specific, like Chinatown, right? Or in Little Italy, all of the signs would have to, every single street sign would have to have multiple languages listed on it. So you want to take that into account when you're answering that question as well. NAFTA is going to be under industry, and of course that has come up recently under President Trump's administration, whether all of the NAFTA regulations should be relaxed or not, or maybe we should get into negotiations to change NAFTA back. NAFTA does have some bad downsides to it. We have destroyed Mexico's economy by flooding Mexico with cheap corn because of NAFTA regulations, and that put a lot of Mexicans out of jobs. And of course, then that led to a lot of individuals from Mexico looking for work in the United States. So we, in some lights, have created the immigration, as Trump says, issue in the United States. Well, we created that under NAFTA because we did flood the Mexican economy with cheap corn. So NAFTA does have some downsides to it, but I want you to look at that in terms of industry. And then most of you did a really good job on your posts this week. There were some, a lot of people are not expanding, so you make a statement, a general statement, but I want you to dig deeper into that general statement and really unpack what you're saying. So if you say, for example, Turkey was not allowed in the EU because because European countries don't see Turkey as that. Well, I want you to unpack that. I want you to explain why European countries don't look at Turkey as a European country. Like, what's the reason for that? So that's just like one little. There are a lot of other people with primate and megacities. You just didn't expand enough. You make these general statements, but then you don't expand. So remember, if you're going to make a statement, you need to unpack that statement and then really explain why you're saying what you're saying. So make sure you keep up with that. Again, I know it's been it's been a very emotionally draining 2 weeks. And then on top of it, we've had some massive storms that have ripped through the area. I went without power for 48 hours. So I've been kind of just piecing together things. But I know it's just really, it is emotionally draining, and I know it's very hard to concentrate on your schoolwork. Unfortunately, this semester is only 6 weeks. So we really have to try and buckle down and complete work. But I do know there's a lot of distractions. So I've been somewhat lenient in grading, but I really need you to try and, if you can, focus. Now, this week will make it a little easier by not having the assignment due, and I don't know if you have the time, if you want to use that to do your revision, but you're more than welcome. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and keep pushing for change. That's all I can say, is that it's our job now. We have to be able to keep this momentum going so that we can have change. The college has had some wonderful presentations. We had an Enough is Enough presentation yesterday, and then next week we're going to have another presentation where the panelists actually engage with questions that people have submitted. So take a look at your C News and watch out for that next session in us discussing race relations in the United States. So make sure you keep an eye out for that C News with that. And when it comes through, I'll make sure I remind you guys as well. But stay safe. Keep pushing for change. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.